Hi friends, in this video I will explore about angular material stepper. Stepper is like this. Basically, we can divide our content into logical steps. Suppose I have to fill the personal information, company information, and then we can say that done. And we can submit a reset or go to back next. In this way, stepper helps us to divide our contents into logical steps. So let us see how to create it. First of all, we need to import mat stepper module. If you are using standalone component, you can import it in your component, and or you can use uh, ng module decorator if you are using application module. So you have to import mat stepper module to work this. Now in the stepper we have two important tags. The first is mat stepper, and this will be the parent tag, and inside this we need to use mat step tag as many as we want. Basically, it depends on in how many logical steps we want to divide our contents. Steps depends on those things. So use steps according to your requirement. Now let us understand more about the mat stepper and mat step. What we have to do is that first of all create the mat stepper, and inside that create mat step, and within that mat step you create a form. This is a form. In next step create another form. Look at this. This is the first form group, this is the second form group, and in this way you create as many as you want, and at last you can here submit or whatever button you want to give, you can give it. Now let us understand the attributes used with the mat stepper and mat step. Mat stepper, label position. Label position means this one, it is in the end. So label position can be bottom or end. I can show you. Suppose this is bottom. What is the difference? This level has come down. Look. So level position just decides our level will be displayed either at end position or bottom. The default is end. This one is the default, whether I configure it here or not. Now, next is orientation. Orientation can be either horizontal or vertical. Suppose by default is horizontal, but if you want to use vertical, you can use. Then it will work like this. Okay. Now, what is linear? Let us understand it. As I told you that within the step, use the forms, and if this form has controls that requires that has the validation that you need to fill it. So, and if the requirement is the next step only, we should go in the next step only if the previous step has no validation error. In that case, you go to the next step. To ensure this, we can use linear. Suppose I have created here two forms, personal info form and company info, and both has the form controls that has the required validation. So what I want that this is our first step, and here I am using the form, and inside the form I have the fields within the mat form field. This is our first form control for the name, first name, and this is the second form control for the last name, and they are the in required validation. So what I want that go to the next step. If the first step is completed, what we have to do that each linear should be true. Right now I have done it. I have this is false. Now make it true. So what will be the difference? I can go in the next step only after completing this step. Look, I cannot. I'm clicking on the step 2, but it's not going. Once you fill the information, then you can go. So this is the for the linear. Okay. So now let us understand more. In the step, we have the property as the label. Using this label, we decide this label that suppose this is written personal information, company information, then these things are decided by label. But this label can contain only the text, and if you want some images here for the label, then use mat step label directive. You can use ng template and then attribute mat step label, and inside this either you write text or you can use images. So label can be configured by two ways, either using mat step label directive or directly use the label attribute within the mat step. Okay. Now some other things that we need to go to next, back. These things are achieved by mat stepper previous and mat stepper next. Mat stepper next, mat stepper previous. Suppose in the first step you need to use only next. So here I have used just the next, use the mat stepper next attribute. In the next step you need previous to and the next also. Here I have used the mat stepper previous for back and mat stepper next for the next. And in the last you don't need the next, so only use the previous. If you want to reset the complete stepper, what we have to do is that in the parent mat stepper create a template reference variable. Here this is stepper as, okay, and then on the click up button you can reset it. How? Let us see. Suppose I have filled the information and just reset, then we reach to the first step. Okay, I have already created my application. I will show you. In my application we have to fill the personal information, company information, and then done. So I have two forms. This is the first form group that contains the first name and last name form controls, and the second form group is company info. It has C name and location, C name, company name, and the location. And after submit I am just printing both the form groups. One thing is that if you want to use the single form group, you can also use the single form group. Okay. One more thing you need to know that linear 2 will work only when if you use step control. Step control controls the step. What we have to do is that, suppose for the first step I have the farm group personal info, then this should also be configured with the step control in the mat step. Our linear is equal to true will only work when we have configured the step control. Okay, so I have two farm groups for the personal info, company info. This step is for personal info and this step is for company info. And at last what I am doing is that you are done and back button, reset and submit. Here submit info, I am doing just printing the both forms data. Let's see, first name, last name, company name, location. And at last I am submitting. You can see I am getting the data of the both forms. Okay, so in this way we can create the stepper and you can see here that I have used for the label attribute and mat step level directive both. So you can use any of these. That difference is that mat step level can also configure the image. Okay, so I'm done. Okay, thank you.